We're here with Kristen Hayter of LINGUA IGNOTA on Basilica Soundscape 2019 Day 2. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So many people here are talking about your record. From M. Lamar, who we just had in, and obviously you work very closely with The Body, who are playing today.
Right.
So I know this is the kickoff to your tour, which is already selling out in a lot of places. So what's it like now taking in all of this sort of acclaim and stuff since the album has come out? 2 months ago?
Yeah, 2 months ago. It's overwhelming. I wasn't expecting it, and I think the people around me weren't really expecting it. So that it's kind of taken off in a bunch of ways is incredible and bizarre, and has kind of thrown me for a loop. So trying to do the best I can to just let it do what it's doing. I don't know, but I'm so grateful that people are paying attention.
And obviously your personal story matters to so many people who listen to it.
Yeah.
And we just were talking to M. Lamar, and you both work in the same way that you paint these very personal stories with visceral music that draws on classical inspiration, all sorts of inspirations, obviously. But you're also speaking to this bigger, whether it's obviously M. Lamar's dealing with slavery and racial injustice for years, and you're dealing with abuse and things like that, but there are things that grab people and draw them in and make them think about things and challenge them, and obviously there's a lot of that goes on at Basilica Soundscape.
Right.
You're now only 3 years into doing this, right?
Yeah, maybe like 2.5. Yeah.
And you both of you bring this thing with you wherever you go. How's it like dealing with these things? What's it like dealing with these things every night and knowing that you're touching people in that way? I've seen people come up to you and tell you how much the album matters over and over again. So it's that connection is clearly undeniable. So
it's really special, and it's something. It's probably the most gratifying part for me is being able to reach people in this way, because I often feel like I can't reach people in other ways in my life. So to be able to reach people through music is intensely rewarding, and it also can be to do it night after night can be very hard. It's hard on me physically. Obviously, you can hear that I've lost my voice, and it can be hard emotionally as well, and because people do come bring me their stories often. So I try to create and compartmentalize what people tell me, and but at the same time it's very special.
Yeah. 'Cause it seems like you're, constantly balancing getting this thing out, but then also like taking on so much too. Like it's got to be, how do you, tend to balance that on a daily basis? Has to be something to you have to really focus on.
Yeah. That balance is very important, and I haven't mastered it yet, so I'm working on it.
Yeah, it's a lot of responsibility, it sounds like.
Yeah, it can be.
Like emotional responsibility. Interesting.
I've read a number of articles now about dissecting essentially all as many of they've caught references in your music to works of literature, to religion, etc.
Yeah.
And it does seem like your album is so rich with, and obviously all musicians and creators have this lineage of influences that people can trace back, but there's so much that your work is so rich and full of things for people to explore and learn about and sort of figure out the sort of maybe a deeper message. And obviously with M. Lamar, the sort of the same thing is going on. But what do you hope people take away? When how much do you expect them to because it sounds like there are a lot of people who are dissecting this as deeply as they possibly can.
Yeah, that's interesting to me as well, because I didn't anticipate that. I put all of these, I put a lot of layers into my work. One of the reasons is because of experience being invalidated, and having a lot of theory and research to back up the work makes it a little bit more bulletproof in a way, or like a little less likely for people to be like, oh, this isn't good, or this isn't real, or this isn't important because this isn't this. But when I have all this stuff behind it, I can say, oh, but then this leads to this, and this is why this is happening, and so it's so it creates like this kind of foundation for the work to be built upon, and ultimately I think that, you know, people can take away different layers, and people can take away what they want from it. There are some people who just like how it sounds, or think that it sounds scary, and that's all they want to get out of it, and they're just like, oh, this is like big and intense. And then there are some people who recognize that it's about abuse, and that resonates with them. And then there are some people who want to like really go deep and explore like the literary and theoretical and research-based side of it. And so if people want to go that far, that's wonderful. But ultimately, you know, it's subject to interpretation, and whatever anyone wants to bring to it or take away from it is up to them.
Those really classical like orchestral sounds that are happening, and like all these references, I mean, what was sort of, I mean, did you have a research period before doing the album where you're like, I really want to lean on certain things and draw these things, but I don't quite know what would be the best one to use? Like, was there any kind of that, or were you very clear in knowing what you were going in with? That makes sense.
I think I was pretty clear knowing like the sources that I wanted to use, and a lot of Caligula is based on like Baroque classical music, and so like the harpsichord, and particularly the music of Henry Purcell with the funeral music for Queen Mary that's in Butcher of the World, and like I looked at a lot of like his conceits and his devices and his formulas as to making. Or those make their way into my music at times. So I was definitely looking at his work in particular, and like kind of, I feel like a lot of Baroque music as opposed to classical music that comes after it with like Romanticism and whatnot. Baroque music has like a very like thin, angular sound a lot of the time. So I kept the orchestration and the instrumentation like a little bit more minimal and like a little bit thinner and like sharper kind of. Yeah. So yeah, definitely looking at Baroque there.
We in our interview a month or so ago, whatever it was, you mentioned some collaborative projects that are coming up.
Yeah.
Do you have a sense of when that is and what's going on and how many? I mean, it sounds like, I mean, obviously the Body are, as you said, they collaborated a lot of the time, pretty prolific. And to be part of that community seems like it's always possible to be creating something with other folks.
Yes, definitely. We're definitely going to be collaborating with the Body again in a few different capacities because I will always work with them, and I love them so much. And they're amazing. And then I have another one that just is starting to come to fruition that's going to be really, really cool and insane. And another one that's going to be very cool and insane. And I think those will be 2020. And then the one that I have coming up, I think soonest, is going to be my project with Dylan from Full of Hell and Lee from The Body. And that's going to be on Thrill Jockey like in the reasonably near future.
Wow. So,
or like in the new year, I think. So that one I'm really looking forward to. It's very, very, very weird. Very weird record. So yeah, I mean there are lots of things in the works.
Check out before you head out today?
M. Lamar, for sure. For sure. His work is fascinating. And I just bought the book, Negro Gothic.
Yes.
Which is incredible, and again, like so much theory and so much thought that goes into the work. And so I'm really looking forward to M. Lamar's set. I want to see Big Brave. I want to see The Body because I missed the show last night. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of friends. And
I was privy to a pretty amazing moment where M. Lamar was talking to Greg Fox, and obviously they have liturgy as this connected material, and they were both sharing their experiences with working with Hunter, and obviously they both have different takes, but it was this exchange of ideas and theory that was just sort of manic and unstoppable, and it kept going and going, and knowing the material, being having listened to liturgy for a long time, just it was like watching these two guys who were involved in a text in different ways discuss it, and it was just sort of profound. And you have those moments here with folks who have worked together or very comfortable with each other. And Greg has played here. I can't even remember how many times now, but
Greg
he was telling
amazing.
us.
I want him on my next record.
Oh,
I have to have him.
Well, he's staying for The Body in particular. He was very amped. So but to hear that sort of stuff and that camaraderie is like it's really great to know that people are feel comfortable and can lift each other up.
And finding each other too.
Yeah.
It's like hopefully, there's somebody here that you haven't seen before, and you'll be like blown away by their stuff.
Yeah,
so.
it seems like a very supportive environment. Oh, Cloud Rat is another one. I have to see them. I haven't seen them live, and they're insane.
Really, really soon. Yeah.
So
better let you go.
Yeah.